On this edition of Around BCC, we discuss the future of public higher education with the state's Higher Ed Commissioner. BCC reaches out to those interested in the region's hospitality industry. Students need to begin thinking of classes they'll take in the spring, and we preview the upcoming hoop season. Welcome to Around BCC. I'm Keith Tebow. We are in the month of November, a little past the halfway mark of the fall 2014 semester across all the campuses of Bristol Community College. To start the show today, we are pleased to be joined by a special guest. We are pleased to be joined today by the Commissioner of Higher Education for the Commonwealth of Massachusetts, Richard Freeland, and we're also joined by President John Sprague, who we've had on the show many times. Commissioner Freeland, President Sprague, thank you for joining us for our opening segment of the show.
Pleasure to be here.
Commissioner Freeland, let me just start by sort of a simple but direct question. What do you feel is the state of public higher education in Massachusetts right now?
I feel the state of public higher education is strong. We have great campuses, great colleges, great universities, great presidents like President Sprague here at Bristol Community College. I think we are providing a very solid education to young people all across the state at every degree level. But I also think we could do better. We are trying to do better, and I think we need better support from the state.
I know, and I want to spend a good part of time talking about one of your big initiatives as Commissioner, the Vision Project, which is a way to boost not only the look of higher education here, the attainment and retention level of students here. Talk about briefly what the Vision Project is for people who don't know what it is and how it impacts your vision of higher education here.
The Vision Project is basically an attempt by the statewide Board of Higher Education to articulate what are the most important ways in which public higher education serves the state. What are the most important things we need to accomplish for the state, and then to measure our success in achieving those things. And so what we are saying is the basic kind of mantra of the Vision Project is that Massachusetts needs the best educated citizenry and workforce in the country. And that's a statement about what we are as a state and what is the nature of our economy. We have the most knowledge-dependent economy in the country. We need the best educated workforce in the country to drive it. 70%, I think you said this today, Jack, 70% of the jobs in the Massachusetts economy within the next 5 years are going to require a college degree. Where are those college-educated workers going to come from? They're going to come from our public institutions. So Massachusetts needs the best educated citizenry and workforce in the country. The Vision Project is an attempt to define what we need to do in public higher education to achieve that.
I know a lot of, when some people think of public higher education, there's sometimes a stigma to it. We talk about it all the time here at Bristol Community College, and we know here at BCC that we offer a quality education. It's not a last resort. For many students, it's a first resort. Is that part of what the Vision Project is looking to do, to say that, listen, you don't need to go to a private higher educational institution. There's such a great educational opportunity offered publicly.
Absolutely. I have worked in higher education, public and private, in Massachusetts for 45 years, and I am well aware of the fact that we are a state where there's a tremendous bias in favor of private higher education. Now, I was president of a private university, Northeastern, wonderful place, for 10 years. I am a great fan of private higher education. But I do think the presence of so many really world-class private institutions, beginning with Harvard and MIT, but on down the line from Boston University and Boston College and Northeastern and Tufts and Brandeis and Williams and Amherst and Wellesley and Smith and Holyoke and you name it, all these just great nationally and internationally known institutions have overshadowed public higher education and led to a really, I think, misguided sense in many parts of the public and among many young people that private is always better than public. And it's just not so. We have many, many first-class programs. We offer a terrific education. And the goal of the Vision Project is to celebrate the excellence of public higher education. We're not just about affordability. We're not just about access. We are also about excellence. And by measuring our performance and publishing reports on our performance every year, we are out to demonstrate to the state that going public is a very good bargain.
What are some of the obstacles to meeting the goals of your vision project that has to be overcome?
Yeah. Well, I think there are, I think the primary, one of the things I like to say, because I believe it's true, is that Massachusetts will have the system of public higher education that its citizens demand. And so we need the citizens of Massachusetts to demand first-rate public higher education. I think the state has been satisfied, quite honestly, to have a good but not great public system, as measured in the level of investment in our public campuses. President Sprague was talking about this morning. We give our public campus, what do you say, $3,000, $3,500 per student. Mm-hmm. We rank, on average across all our institutions, the state contributes a little over $6,000 per student. That ranks us a little below the middle of the pack among the states in terms of support for public higher education. I think the per student investment by the state is the best measure of that. And while we do a terrific job with the resources we're provided, at the end of the day, I think quality in higher education costs money. Mm-hmm. And you can't achieve national leadership as a public system with investment that's in the middle of the pack.
Right.
We need to do better.
And I know there's been a change in the community college level of a new formula for funding community colleges, which BCC has been the beneficiary of over the past couple of years. Is that something that may translate as well to the other universities?
Yes, we are at this point trying to persuade our good friends in the state universities that this would be a good idea for them as well. And this formula is also about the community college presidents accepting the challenge of excellence. This is about the president saying, we are fine to have our budgets driven heavily by performance. We know that we can achieve. We know we can do well. And so, yes, tie our funding to performance, and we know we're going to be okay. And the presidents, I think, have stepped up, and we are seeing performance improve all over the state. The president gave a report this morning about the terrific improvements here in terms of persistence, retention, graduation rates, completion of developmental education. We now have a third of our community colleges, 5 of them, who are improving their graduation rates at 1% a year or more. If we can keep that up for a decade and scale it across the whole system, we'll be at the top of the charts among the states in terms of graduation rates. And that's what we need to do to persuade the public that this is a quality system.
Right. President Sprague, we talked a little bit before in our conversations about the Vision Project, but how specifically is BCC invested to the Commissioner's Vision Project, and maybe some examples on how the college is trying to do its part to keep students here, retain students, get them well trained, try to close some of the gaps of some of the students coming in terms of, there's a lot of remedial training that needs to take place. How is BCC fitting into this project?
I must say, under the Commissioner's leadership, the Vision Project has set forth goals, inspirational goals, and not just aspirational goals. And one of the key elements for community colleges is developmental education, that whole cluster of activities that revolve around that topic. And we have made some institutional investments. But on the other hand, one of my favorite sayings is to put your money where your mission is, and the Commissioner and Department of Higher Education has provided performance incentive funds, and Bristol is making advantage of those funds to continue the work toward the goals of the Vision Project. The developmental mathematics and developmental English are two key areas that we've invested with presidential fellows, so we've given reassigned time to full-time faculty to investigate and to modernize, if you will, our developmental activities, the use of computers, the use of modules, and so that you're not stuck by the 15-week semester time zone, which could be a killer for some students who require developmental ed. You know, I might point out also with the commissioner in not only the Vision Project, but and he is one of our biggest champions about seeking more funding, as you just heard him say. But on the other hand, he has also looked inward and asked us, created himself what we call PACE, the Partnership to Advance Collaboration and Efficiencies, that we must make every possible use of the precious I'm going to say few dollars that we get from the state. And he's been just wonderful, moving us toward the goals. One of his favorite expressions is moving the needle and trying to get performance to match the realities of the expectations in the Commonwealth.
How big of a role, Commissioner, is workforce development? We have our own Workforce Education Center here in Fall River that dedicates itself to training those to get further educated so they can improve not only their job skills, but the skills that their employers are looking for. How important is the Vision Project in tying into workforce development as well?
Workforce development is absolutely central to the Vision Project. And in speaking about this, I want to put it at rest, you know, a huge myth about workforce development. Workforce development is not just job training. Workforce development is the total education of young people. Workforce development is liberal education. Workforce development is general education. Workforce development is teaching young people to develop their critical skills capacities, their communications capacities, their knowledge of the world. It is also helping them develop mastery in a particular occupational arena. But there is this tendency to diminish the notion of workforce development and even to react negatively to it as something that's narrow and technical and vocational. It has always been a noble aspiration of higher education, and it is true in the liberal arts and it's true in occupational fields, to prepare people for what comes after college. People need to earn a living. That is a noble thing. That is what makes our country great, that people actually go out and work. And workforce development is preparing people for that world. So it is absolutely central, and it involves two basic components. One is the general education of young people in a wide variety of ways academically, and the other is knowledge of a particular vocational area.
I know President Sprague, we talked about this a lot as well, that every student who comes in, whether they're just out of high school or those returning to college after a number of years in the workforce, it's all part of that goal of being employed.
Yes, right.
So it's all workforce, isn't it?
Yes, any of the education. We have our characteristics of a BCC educated person,
right.
And it's not just a matter of trying to make widgets. It's a matter of being a wholesome education, a holistic education at BCC, and becoming, frankly, a good contributing citizen who can make informed, ethical choices. And that's also the betterment of the Commonwealth.
Commissioner, it would be not good of me to bring up that the day you are actually here for this interview, you have announced that you're stepping down as Commissioner of Higher Education at the end of the academic year. What led to that decision, and what do you hope to be doing in the future?
Well, I've been Commissioner for 6.5 years. I've been in higher education in Massachusetts for over 4 decades. It's work I love. It's a field of endeavor that I love. But this was a personal decision. I'm at an age where if I don't do some other things that I want to get done, I may not get a chance to do them. So it was, to me, just after a very rewarding and joyous, really, 6.5 years in this position, a time to get on with a couple of other things in my life.
Well, we appreciate your time here today with us, talking about the Vision Project. Let me just finally ask you, do you hope that the Vision Project will continue, and hopefully it'll be someone else will pick up the ball, whoever succeeds you in this position?
I do hope that, because the Vision Project, it wasn't really a 5-year plan. It wasn't a 3-year plan. It was a vision of where Massachusetts needs to be. It was a statement, we are Massachusetts. We need the best educated citizenry and workforce in the country. We are internationally recognized as leaders in education, and it is simply not acceptable to have an average system of public higher education. We need a first-class system. We need excellence, and I want young people who come to our community colleges to be proud that they're coming to those colleges. I am tired of hearing students say, you know, I didn't really want to go there, but then I got there and found out it was terrific. I hear that over and over and over again. I want them to know it's going to be terrific. I want them to be proud that they're going there. I want their parents to be proud that they're going there, and I want our state to aspire to having a first-class system. And the vision, we've got a ways to go. We've got a ways to go with that, but that's what the Vision Project is about.
Commissioner Freeland, President
Keith, I
Sprague.
want to say also that we're going to miss Commissioner mightily, but his legacy is something that will endure, and I hope it is through the Vision Project because it's a lasting effect and it's going to have a wonderful impact, continue to have that on the Commonwealth. And thank you for all your time.
Thank you, Mr. President.
Thank you.
Commissioner Freeland, President Sprague, thank you for joining us. We appreciate it.
Thank you, Keith.
We'll have more of Around BCC right after this.
When I left Durfee to come here in 2009, if you would have asked me what the value I seen in just any education was, I mean, mine, I was a high school kid, I was 19 years old, I probably would have told you, I don't know what you're talking about. I can tell you that this school has so much value, and being able to get my associate's degree, to me, is a great accomplishment, and it's kind of unreal that it's finally here. My name is Chris Mitchell. I'm the student trustee of Bristol Community College and a proud student of BCC. Ever since I said yes, couldn't stop me, you know? When I was an entrepreneurship major, I was about to graduate, and I was wondering, like, what was the next step? And I didn't know what to do. Fortunately, the co-op department contacted faculty about an internship. And here I am, it was just that time where I was thinking about doing something, and I said, well, hey, why not? I sent the email, and then a week later, the last Center for Teaching and Learning contacted me for an interview. From there, it was just nonstop. I just stopped saying no, and I kept saying yes to everything. There, I became student trustee, and it just kept. And here I am today, graduating, and I can't believe it. Right now, I'm between schools. I just finished Bristol Community College. I'm moving to UMass Dartmouth in the fall for finance, and I'm currently working here at J. Marshall Associates. You can't go wrong saying yes, you can't. If I didn't go to BCC, or if I never made the decision to go to BCC, I do not think that I would be sitting here with this tie on and this suit, you know, just sitting here in an office in a professional environment. I couldn't picture otherwise.
Welcome back. As a follow-up to our conversation with Commissioner Freeland on growing enrollment in public higher education, BCC took part in a recruitment event held at a local high school. Every student at New Bedford High School was invited to take part in the Department of Higher Ed's Go Public initiative, which introduces students to the benefits of state community colleges, universities, and the University of Massachusetts. Department of Higher Ed spokesperson Katie Abel says the misconceptions around settling for a public higher education has to change, and it is.
In this state, unlike others, there has tended to be this attitude that public higher education maybe shouldn't be your first option. That's what we're trying to attack. It's going to take a long time, but I think, you know, we heard a community college student here today talk about sports teams at community college, talk about activities and things that they can do in addition to commuting to a class. We had a community college student not long ago who talked about going to Peru as part of a study abroad experience. That really stretches people's idea of what you can do at a community college, and that's exactly what we want to do.
Among those to speak to students at the Go Public event was BCC engineering student Elson DePina, who sees his BCC education as equal to or even better than those at private institutions.
It's for people who want to go to higher education but need either some extra time or need a special, some more intimacy, I believe, because it provides more intimacy because it's a smaller school setting, so they're more intimate with their students, they know their students better, I feel, and everybody knows each other. So that special, like, close-knit relationship helps the students succeed and helps them push them to be as good as they can be.
Last year, we reported on the creation of BCC's Catch Institute, an all-encompassing program that looks to meet the needs of the region's culinary arts, tourism, casino, and hospitality industries. Last month, the Fall River campus introduced future students to what the program has to offer. Over 200 people, many of them high school students, descended upon the Fall River campus to get the specifics on the Catch Institute and the burgeoning employment opportunities that are destined to become available here on the South Coast. Director John Carissimo says the prospects of a casino in our region will open up a wide range of employment options.
What I'm trying to get across is that when we talk about jobs in a casino, we're basically talking about all of the jobs that exist in any city or town. So if people are studying computers, if they're studying graphic arts, if they're in cosmetology, all of those things are going to be available under the auspices of a destination casino. So people may be in classes like computer classes, and they think they're going to be working in a back office someplace, but they could be in anything you touch today is computers. You walk into a hotel, and from the time you walk in till the time you leave, it's computers, computers, computers. Same thing with graphic arts, any of those things. So there's a position for any and all of those people within the confines of a destination casino.
The Catch Institute had a soft launch this semester, will expand in the spring, and will be offered fully in the fall of 2015. For more information on the Catch Institute, visit the BCC website. BCC spends a lot of resources preparing students for jobs in the local workforce, but it also has programs for people looking to work for themselves. Students from BCC and 5 local high schools were invited to talk with local small business owners on how to start their own business. The BCC Academic Center for Entrepreneurship offers a complete program of courses and services for those in the local community who are looking to work for themselves. Director April Lynch says students spend time working in class developing the tools needed to start a business, and among them is working with existing small businesses in filling their needs.
We'd like to offer marketing services and some other services to micro businesses in the community, because what I'm hearing a lot of feedback is, and being a business owner myself for years, there's things like marketing, accounting, things that you just can't, you struggle with as a small business owner. So we're trying to incorporate our services over ACE to incorporate those things. And how I've been doing it is I've been working in with some of my higher level classes, my second year classes, and we'd be doing projects for real companies as part of our classwork. And it's kind of a win-win for the students because they get practical experience, and it works well for the companies because they get things that they otherwise couldn't afford to get.
Amanda Copeland works as a business manager for a local landscaping company, and she says BCC provides a strong base of knowledge for those looking to start on their own.
The management behind opening a business, there's a lot to be learned. You don't just start a business tomorrow, and this program has given me a lot of chances to find out more how to grow a business and how to get the funding to even open a business.
The BCC Academic Center for Entrepreneurship is a useful resource to any current or aspiring small business owner. Find out more on the BCC website. Even though there's still time left in the fall semester, it's never too early for current students to begin thinking about the classes they plan to take this spring. Our intern Denise Pumaguaye has more in this month's installment of Student to Student.
Hi, this is Denise Pumaguaye for Student to Student. The priority advisement period is around the corner, and we are bringing you an interview with Steven Viveros, Dean of Academic Advisement here at BCC.
We've developed a first-year advising program, so it is 3 one-hour sessions that focus on the steps that they should take in order to be prepared for meeting with the advisor. What we're trying to do is focus not just on building a course schedule, but building a life plan for students. Our Advising 101 session prepares students for understanding what advising is, how to connect with their advisor. We reinforce what are some of the academic resources and services. We teach them a little bit about academic standards and what the college expects of them so that they can be successful here. And then at that point, it's about the 3rd, 4th week of the semester, we want them to learn a little bit about who they are as a college student. So we have them complete the MapWorks Early Alert Survey. And it's a tool that then gives them feedback immediately about how things are going. Maybe you should connect with this professor, connect with these services, work on your time management. Advising 102, we start already talking about academic planning. So we introduce students to our DegreeWorks tool. The beauty of DegreeWorks is it tells you what you've completed thus far. For new students, it just shows them what's in process. Transfer students, it'll show your transfer credit posted there. For continuing students, it'll show you what you've completed as well as what you should complete in order to earn a degree. And then our Advising 103 session focuses on how do they build the best possible course schedule for the next semester. So we teach them the online course search tool. We reinforce the advising period. Starting November 6th, students can already schedule those appointments with their advisors or at the advising centers. Also, the earlier you register, the better access you have to the best course selection.
The priority advisement period runs from November 12th to December 1st. Please contact the Fall River Advisement Center located at G Building, room 200, or by calling extension 2777 or by visiting the BCC's website. This is Denise Pumawaje for Student to Student.
Congratulations go out to the BCC men's soccer team as it qualified for the postseason after a successful fall campaign. The 3-9-1 men took part in the Region 21 soccer tournament held in Holyoke, Massachusetts. By the way, the women's soccer team also wrapped up its 2014 season with a respectable record of 1-6-1. Focus, though, now shifts to the hard court as the men's and women's basketball teams look to repeat their successes of a year ago. Both the men's and women's Bees qualified for the postseason a year ago. The men came home as Massachusetts Community College champions before falling short in the regional tournament. With a record of 18-11 a year ago, head coach Rob Delalue says the makeup of his team leads him to expect similar results this year.
I think it kind of given us an opportunity for people to see that we're not just a regular junior college, just being around for we've been around now for 7 years. This will be our 7th season, and being around for our 7 years, already winning a Mass State championship is showing progress. And with that progress, we're looking for a little bit more. We want to win a regional championship, winning the New Englands, and we also would like to go on to the national tournament and ultimately win a national championship as well.
Women's head coach Jenny Ozug is equally as optimistic for her squad, with an experienced core of players returning.
I have 5 returners from last year, 5 out of 7, and 3 freshmen this year. And I think seeing as how those 5 made it to the postseason last year, and they have a good expectation and they know what to expect this year from the other teams. I'm hoping that'll help us, stay strong and stay consistent this year because they know what it takes to get to the postseason and what it takes to win like we did last year.
Both teams begin their seasons this month with home games being played at Bishop Connolly High School. Check out the BCC website for more information. That's all for Around BCC for this month. We leave you with scenes from this year's cardboard and duct tape boat race held at the pond in the Fall River campus last month. I'm Keith Tebow. Thanks for watching.
Get set, go!
Bumper boat. Yeah. Pirates through and through. Floating couch is doing better. Up.